The bounty hunters. Gregory watches as the troop transport leaves and the docking bay door closes. He then turns to the group of LeBlanc natives. You can relax now. Outside of official duties, training, and combat, the rule of this ship is to stay casual. Really? Despite your reputation? One of the soldiers asks. They spent 2 weeks without anything other than pants on in the ship. It was like being in a porno with unending buildup and no money shot, Onyx says, and Gregory slowly turns to her and then looks towards Air Farce. I'm sorry, but were you two not trying to break the upholstery on every pilot's chair in and on the ship? Did you not christen every damn horizontal surface you could? He asks, and Onyx muffles a snort as Air Farce salutes. So did you. J3 notes. Fair enough, but my point is made. And what point was that? Air Farce demands in a highly amused tone. Gregory turns back to the soldiers without answering, which prompts laughter from his men. Anyways, welcome to the party wagon. We experiment with new tactics, equipment, and techniques whenever possible, so there's a wide variety of exotic weapons, armor, and more to play with. If you need your own version or a refitting for one to work for you, just say so. As far as I'm concerned, if you're on the team, you're on the team. You're here to protect my son, whose main link to combat and the like is as a drone operator, meaning he's generally far from danger. But as the Gestalt proved, that's not a perfect protection. There is no answer, so he raises an eyebrow, then shrugs. Right. Now there are 3 borderline sacred rules. These rules are only ever breakable in an active combat scenario or emergency. First is that doctor's orders are second only to divine commandment. Unless a literal god or goddess is countermanding it, then you listen to your doctors. Secondly, anything to do with a weapon needs someone in screaming distance. And considering that the bulkheads and doorways block sound, that means you need someone in the room with you when you practice in any range or training area. Third is that everyone is getting at minimum 4 hours every day to themselves. You can do whatever you want so long as you're not working. We don't care when you take them, only that you take them. And the minimum of 8 hours of sleep you're required to have does not count. But that leaves half the day with nothing productive done. That's correct. Even those of us who are partially or completely machines need to take breaks. Doing anything else is to invite you to be broken. So take a damn break or break, Gregory says. Anyways, I'll show you to your rooms in the nearest armory where you can stash your things. So you don't need to know our ranks and names. You'll introduce yourselves to us at your own good pace. We're going slow for our more junior trainees at the moment. Slytherin is one of the youngest on this ship. Barring newly born children, is the youngest. So we keep him away from combat. However, he's soon to reach age of majority where he can sign up for legitimate combat exercises and not just potential combat under well-controlled circumstances. So until then, I expect you girls to be rather bored. Holy shit, he said that with a straight face. Air Farce's notes, and Gregory turns to him with a raised eyebrow. I was paying a compliment. Anyways, we often use nicknames on the field. I am Captain Gregory Schmidt, but my nickname is Pukey. Yes, I know, haha. It references a timid little boy of your stories. But in my case, it references the hardest day of my training where I lipped off to my instructor, did something stupid, and then had to put in extra work. Not precisely in that order, but no one ever let me forget it, including myself. Do you need more information? Could we get the specifics, please? Fair enough. Under sufficient stress, a human can vomit, purging the contents of their stomach. Our drill instructors, the individuals in charge of teaching obedience, movement, and increasing our physical abilities, promised my squadron and myself that they would be running us through a difficult obstacle course as many times as it took for us to vomit. I agitated my stomach and induced myself to vomit on the spot, then asked like a nitwit if that meant I was excused from the training. The answer was a no, so resounding that I was personally pushed and harassed until I had run the course an equal number of times to the longest runner of my squad, and then made to run another time for good measure. This took so long I missed my next meal. They did not allow me to eat. I was then pushed through the rest of the day's training in a state of absolute exhaustion and starvation, with a shifting team of drill instructors ensuring that my performance did not dip, and was in fact exceptional to a level I had not previously reached before. When I finally was allowed to eat that night, I was not permitted to have a larger portion than normal, and I was told in no uncertain terms that they would be expecting that level of excellence from me the next day. Failure to perform would be punished. I did not fail to perform, and in fact quickly found an even higher level of ability shortly afterwards. That is why I not only accept but embrace my embarrassing nickname. I will never forget how much it hurt to try and squirm out of my work, and will always maintain a standard so that none dare question whether or not I am worthy of my station or rank. Any further questions? What kind of course was it? A circular course, 5 kilometers in length and through extremely rugged terrain. Half the squad only finished 1 lap and vomited most of the way through the second. The most hardy member of the squad ran it 7 times. I was forced to run it 8 times. I was nearly delirious with exhaustion by the end of it and nearly passed out before finishing. The physical pain from the sheer exertion took several weeks to fully pass. However, since then, I have found myself effectively untiring and unstoppable. So while unpleasant, the training was fully effective. What happened to the other guy again? Air Force asks. Baked. He snapped his ankle in the last week of training. If there's any justice, he's on the next ship. Why was he called Baked again? Air Force asked to get his favorite story out of Pukey, out in the open and from the man's own lips. He showed up first day smelling of weed, acting like he disposed his entire stash in 1 mega bowl, and seemed to be more or less permanently high. There was literally nothing that could shake him out of his stoner mood. He felt no pain, no fear, and no regrets. Still went through the training like a boss and only noticed he snapped his ankle when he literally couldn't stand on it anymore. Go. Do all of you have strange nicknames and backgrounds? In a sense, yes, also no. I will call you a liar if you tell me there were not incidents of note or the like from your own training, youth, or military career. Yes, it's strange, but also endemic. We're all strange. So embrace it, Gregory says. Anyways, we've had enough questions for now. We have a lot of room left on the ship, and if you'll follow me, I'll show you where your rooms are. Do you think you'll ever have a full complement? By what definition? We can fit several companies on this ship. However, if we were to go full family and every man on the ship gets 100 wives, well, that's 1,212 people. 12? I was informed of 10 men and Lord Slytherin. I have a son. His name is George, and he's newly born. 3 days old now. Gregory says, we kept him nearby, but in a cloaked and sound-baffled stroller so that he wouldn't be disturbed. Right. You have families here. We do, as Gregory says. Now, enough waiting around. Follow me, please. He leads the crowd through the ship and up a level to near where the crew chambers are. Unfortunately for the girls, the rooms closest to Soltihern are already spoken for. But they don't complain as he shows them first their rooms, then the nearest armory. He then leads them on a tour that includes the helm, engines, several other armories, the training centers and differing meeting rooms and mess hall. When he leads them towards the workshop of Slytherin and Jade, they arrive in time to hear Slytherin hissing some very impolite words as he takes a file to some not so well smoothed out inside of a drone casing. Gregory understands it only enough to know that Slytherin wants to do something to whoever thought the casing was of acceptable quality. You all right there, buddy? Gregory asks, and the Nagasha boy turns. Yeah, just some idiot let this casing get past them without the internal mold residue being properly scraped away. These things are made in 2 parts, and unless I get this bit down, it'll wear at the wires and cause everything to go wrong at the worst time. Slytherin explains and then blinks, leans to the side and blinks again. Oh, they're here. They are. Ladies, meet your lord in his element, making his next weapon and wishing death on those that defy him. Gregory jokes, Dad, come on! I'm making a reinforced bomb disposal drone, not a weapon. Could you or could you not give someone a lethal concussion while hitting them with that drone? Yes, and I could do the same with my hands, head, and tail, as well as any solid object in existence. Even your pillow? Get it up to enough speed, and yes, smothering is usually better, Gregory says, and Slytherin sighs as he puts aside the drone casing. He slithers up to the 5 women, and they all kneel down. Lord Slytherin, we have been sent to protect you. I am Sergeant Megara of your honor guard. I am the shield to keep you safe and the sword to slay your enemies. Slytherin then turns to Gregory. Is this going to be like the Sidewinders? Oh, a whole new animal, probably. The Sidewinders were the remnants of a street gang we inspired. These girls are full-on trained and taught at the very least. Gregory answers before grinning and putting a hand on his son's shoulder. The biggest difference is that these girls are your honor guard, not fellow trainees or superior officers. They're under your command. Why are you so damn amused? Slytherin demands after a few moments. They just grow up so fast. I was 15 when we met, and I'm freshly 16 now. Huh, Slytherin states flatly. What's with all the traffic? Jade asks from outside the hallway, and Gregory glances around the room with a smirk on his face. I swear if one of you is responsible for my helmet walking off, I'm going to eat someone. All right, if this is at the level where there are threats of death going around, then it's time to stop, Gregory says, stepping away from Slytherin and walking over to Jade's half of the workshop to pull the pillowcase off the helmet, revealing the previously hidden item to everyone. And as Jade enters, she spots it immediately, even as Gregory pockets the pillowcase. What the? It was gone! What happened? Yeah, strange that. What happened? Gregory asks, glancing at Slytherin and simultaneously throwing him under the bus. What did you do? Jade demands in a growling tone. Slytherin rises up to assume a more martial stance. Take it to the training room, you two. Yes, I think we should. I must protest at this, Sergeant Megara states, and Pukey shrugs. It brings them closer together and makes them both stronger. It's fine by me, so long as no one digs in claws and teeth and the extra features of certain fingers are left off, Pukey says. Fine, Slytherin agrees as he regards Jade, who's snarling at him. Deal, you little smart aleck. Let's go. Megara starts to say, as both Kenidor and Nagasha quickly leave. They're not going to hurt each other. They're just being relatives. Sometimes you drive each other insane, you know? Pukey dismisses it, and the honor guard gets their head out of their asses and quickly follows Slytherin and Jade through the ship, leaving behind Pukey to smirk at their departure. He then turns to the last person with him. So, sorry for not greeting you properly. I needed to make sure the military girls had all the right ideas about this place. Best to keep the people with training and deadly weapons from making rash decisions. I was getting rather curious as to why you were explaining so much, Harika asks. Simple enough. They're used to a highly demanding and regimented way of military operation. They needed to be told and shown in no uncertain terms that things are a lot more relaxed around here, but still professional when needed. Hence the little bit of story time with a major sasshole behind me, Pukey says. I take it from your return that not only is the Empire even more interested than the Honor Guard suggests, but I left a rather good impression. Yes, you did. How good? He asks. It was hard to walk at times. Ah, good. I'm going to need to speak with your first wife, Harika says with a bit of a blush. That would be Cindy. Thank you. Excuse me, Harika says, scuttling off. After she rounds the corner, Pukey walks over to the nearby wall and taps on it with his prosthetic arm. The metal ringing causes some gas, and he opens it, to reveal Roth and Andrea. Hello, ladies. Having fun? He asks the two literally fishy women. Yes, Roth asks. Good. Tell Mustard I'll get his winnings to him shortly. Conceding defeat in the bet? I can see what's happening. I'm not blind. He's won the bet. We'll let Loverboy know then. Close the door, please, Andrea says, and he puts the maintenance tunnel panel back in place. Same goes for you girls. I know I lost. I'll pay up, Pukey says after he hears both women leave. Good, Nuis says before she and Saar prowl off invisibly. I love this ship, Pukey says to himself.